This week on the Ear Scouts podcast, we're uncovering our favorite hidden gems at Walt Disney World. Plus, we're answering your questions about resort hotels, lightning lanes, and party plans. We got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. Hi-ho, everybody. This is Rob with Ear Scouts, coming to you from our makeshift studio here in Celebration, Florida. Welcome to episode 9 of the Ear Scouts podcast, where we gather around the virtual campfire to talk about Disney World and Disney parks around the world. Also here in Celebration is the other half of Ear Scouts, Eric. Hi-ho, Eric.
Hi-ho, everyone.
As always, Eric will be keeping up with the live chat over on Patreon. If you'd like to join us as we record each episode live, including our exclusive Patreon after party, head on over to patreon.com/earscouts. Back with us this week in his home state of Indiana, after a week on the road, is our resident Disney trivia guru, Quizmaster Craig. Hi-ho, Craig.
Hi-ho, everybody. It's good to be back. I missed you all.
We missed you too, Craig. Also joining us from Connecticut is Ear Scouts moderator and the host of Jessica Scraps on YouTube, Jessica. Hi-ho, Jessica.
Hi-ho, everyone, and happy Life Day.
That's right. As we're recording this, this is the actual day, right?
This is
Life Day.
Actual Life Day, a celebration of joy, harmony, and family. And I wish you all a very, very happy Life Day.
So we're recording this Monday, November 17th. And if you're not familiar with Life Day, you should go check out the new Jollywood Nights video. We include some clips.
You do include some clips. Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, from the Star Wars Holiday Special featuring B. Arthur and Harvey Korman, if you can believe it. But let's kick things off like we always do by gathering around the virtual campfire to talk about the latest Disney Parks news. Craig, let's start with you because I think you got some news that people are going to be really excited about. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, so yes, round trip airport luggage service is returning. Now, of course, we have a few caveats, and I'm just going to throw those out first to get them out of the way. So the service is only good for those who are staying at one of the 5 value resorts and are also flying on Southwest. Hopefully this will expand, but that's where it's being tried right now. So for those who weren't familiar, Disney used to offer something called Disney's Magical Express, which provided free bus transportation from MCO airport to your resort. But it also offered luggage service where you could check your bags in at your home airport and they would magically appear at your resort room. Same thing with heading back home. You just check your bags at your Disney Resort Bell services, and they will magically appear at your baggage claim when you get home. So, unfortunately, all this ended with the pandemic, and it doesn't look like the free bus service is returning anytime soon. But back in April, Disney partnered with a website called bagcheck.com and started to offer one-way luggage service from your resort back to your home airport. Again, just at those 5 value resorts and flying Southwest. But now they're going to offer service for both arrival and departure. And this is a perk I loved back in the day. You just register online. They send you these special luggage tags, put them on your luggage. You check in at your home airport, and that's the last you're going to see them until they show up in your room. They do specify it could take up to 4 hours for your luggage to arrive. But as long as you're planning ahead and have what you need with you, it's a great service.
Yeah, I think my guess is this is going to be something that's going to roll out to all airlines and all resorts. They're just kind of working out the kinks and building up to that, don't you think?
Yeah, especially since they're using like a third party to basically organize it.
My hope is that this will just eventually become Magical Express again at some point. But I've heard from multiple people, including both of you, Craig and Jessica, you didn't really love the bus component of it because it just took forever, right?
Yeah, the bus was the worst part of Magical Express because you waited and you weren't sure which hotel was going to be first, and there was no bathrooms, and we had little kids, and it was like hours, and it was not. Other people are saying it was magical. Our 2 times that we did Magical Express, we did it twice. Both times, it was the bus part of it was like we kind of had to prepare ourselves to do the bus. The luggage part, great. The bus part, not so good.
I mean, if you think about it, if you just have the luggage component, your luggage is taken care of for you. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to stand by baggage claim and wait for your bags to come up. Instead, you can request that Uber or Lyft and you could get it to take you directly to Magic Kingdom
Mhm.
or Epcot or wherever it is that you want to start your Disney adventure. And there's no need to go to the hotel, right? Your bags are going to get there on their own. If you've just kind of packed your carry-on, maybe have like a backpack as your carry-on or something that you're going to take into the parks, that's awesome. I mean, that's a really great start to your Disney World
Mhm.
trip, I think. Well, that is very exciting. And I have another piece of news here that is going to be very exciting to our veterans and military families out there. Disney has announced that active or retired members of the US military can purchase a special annual pass for 2026. It's very similar to the Sorcerer's Pass, if you're familiar with that. It has some blockout dates that are mainly around holidays like Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas. But beyond that, it's pretty much the whole year. Um, and the Sorcerer's Pass, which is basically the same thing as this pass, runs $1,099 a year. And this ticket, which is called the Disney Celebrates America Military Salute Pass, is only $499. That is less than half the price. And they can actually buy up to 6 of those at that price. So if you have a member of your family who is active duty or retired military, they can purchase an annual pass for themselves and for up to 6 of their family and friends. It doesn't even have to be immediate family. The catch is, and it's not really a catch, but they have to get one of the passes for themselves. They can't just buy 6 passes for their friends and family. One of them does need to be for the service member themselves. But beyond that, I think this is an amazing deal. And they've done things like this in years past. But I think this year is it's just a really good value, especially when you compare it to what the annual passes cost now. They also have some other tickets available under this program. There's like 4, 5, and 6 day park hopper tickets. But when you look at the price difference, it's like you get to that 4 or 5. Each of those tickets is just a little bit more than the other one. And then the annual pass, it's like you pay like $50 more or something and you have the annual pass. It's kind of crazy to do anything other than the annual pass if you have the ability to come to Disney more than once a year. So it's definitely the biggest bang for your buck. And best of all, if you purchase the ticket at your local military base's ticket office or at Shades of Green here at Walt Disney World, you don't even have to pay sales tax. Now, that is a great way to celebrate the semi quincentennial of our nation. And speaking of special celebrations, Jessica, I think you have some holiday festival news to share as well. What do you got for us this week?
So, from a holiday perspective, finally, the Festival of the Holidays menus have come out, and that is very exciting. There's a lot of new menu items. The one thing I did want to talk about specifically is it looks like there's almost a whole new suite of cookies. So, almost every cookie has the words new next to them. I'm just going to read you a few of them that are new. The first one is the prototype cookie. It looks like Spaceship Earth kind of on that's lit up. It's got like neon blues and greens, purples on the icing. Looks really cool. It is a sugar cookie with orange cranberry icing and a dark chocolate. So that
Ooh.
just looks amazing. Then there is a cranberry oatmeal cookie, which is plant-based. And cranberry oatmeal cookies are actually my favorite cookie, which is I know it's a weird take, but I love oatmeal raisin, but I love oatmeal cranberry. So an oatmeal cranberry cookie is just it does something for me. This one happens to be plant-based, which is even better. So that's a new one. They have a actual macaroon, which you guys know how I feel about that in France, a gingerbread macaroon in France.
Mm.
And they have at America, because there's nothing more American than a Snickers bar chocolate cookie with salted caramel on it. Like all of these different cookies sound so fun. There are quite a few new menu items. I really recommend you go and look. Almost every booth had something new.
What I need to know, there's one cookie that is always far and away the best cookie in Germany, the Linzer cookie. Please
It's
tell
still there.
me. Okay, good, good. That
I'm
that
gonna
one,
verify that. Yes, the hazelnut Linzer cookie with raspberry jam is still there. I
man,
didn't
that
say it
cookie is
because it's
so
not a
good.
new item,
Yeah.
but Germany is exact same menu as last year, no changes.
They have my favorite is the, fondue. Like, when it
Mhm.
comes to the cheese,
Mm.
they always have, like, a raclette or some kinda cheese thing, but the cheese fondue is my favorite of those.
I know what I'm going to be eating the day after Thanksgiving now. Thank you for letting me know. And if you are an annual pass holder and you're coming in town for the holidays, Eric has some news that you might want to hear as well. Eric, what's the pass holder news that just dropped?
If you miss out the last year magnets, well, you're in luck. Disney World is bringing back for a limited time next month. You will be able to get Stitch, Pumbaa, and Hey Hey. And you are going to be able to get them through December the 3rd to December the 19th of 2025.
Craig and Jessica, you're both annual pass holders. Did you get the magnets? Did you get all those magnets this year?
Yeah, I have all 3 of those. No, actually,
No.
that's not true. I got all 3 and John is missing Stitch. So, because
Oh.
I went on a trip without him, and so we're gonna have to go back so he can get Stitch.
Yeah, I think Stitch is the only one I have of those.
Well, if you're going to be here during that period, you can
I
get all three. Well, before we jump to our main topic of the week, I did want to share some fun Patreon news. We are going to have our next Ear Scouts Jamboree on Zoom this Thursday, where we will be discussing our plans for the in-person Walt Disney World Jamboree that's taking place next year, October 9th through October 12th. So if you have some ideas for things we should do at the in-person Jamboree next year, be sure to join us this Thursday. And I also wanted to mention that we're going to have our very first Mad Tea Party this coming Sunday morning on Zoom. And that is open to all of our Patreon members at the Mini Scout level and above. And we'd love to see you there. We've never had a Mad Tea Party before, and I'm still not entirely sure what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be fun. And I'm excited to have my morning coffee or tea with all of you on Sunday morning. So looking forward to seeing you there. But now it is time for a segment we like to call Pressed Penny for Your Thoughts, where we take a deep dive on a particular topic or question. And this week is the first in a series of conversations we're going to have about hidden gems at Walt Disney World. Now, to be fair, there's not much at Walt Disney World that is truly hidden, but we want to focus on the things that maybe don't get as much attention as they should, because these are some of our favorite things at the parks, and a lot of folks don't even know that they're there. So there are way too many things to talk about in one episode. So this week we're just going to focus in on things you can eat and drink. This can be an entree at a table service restaurant, or a snack from a cart in the park, or a cocktail at your favorite Disney watering hole. If you're listening in live on Patreon, let us know in the comments what some of your favorite edible hidden gems are. We're going to start with the food, but we're going to check in with Eric and we're going to hear what your hidden gems are. So make sure you leave those for us in the comments. Jessica, why don't you start us off? Because you shared one of these in an episode we did recently about our favorite restaurants, and I had no idea it was there. What is the hidden gem that someone can find in the Magic Kingdom?
So, my first hidden gem is the churro waffle. And churro waffles have been long known to be on Disney Cruise Line. But the hidden gem part of it is people didn't realize that it is also on the breakfast buffet at Crystal Palace in Magic Kingdom. So you will not get it if you go for lunch or dinner. You will not get it in other places. You need to get a breakfast reservation at Crystal Palace to get the churro waffles. And churro waffles are basically a waffle. First, it's a Mickey waffle, the normal Mickey waffle, which are already amazing. Then it is deep fried, and then it is rolled in cinnamon sugar like a churro would be. So this is an amazing, sweet kind of breakfast dessert. When my kids were little, they used to always ask if they could have breakfast dessert. So I would make them eat something that was healthy, fruit, eggs, something, and then they would beg for breakfast dessert. So I would classify churro waffles as breakfast dessert. But hidden gem part of it is if you want to get them outside of cruise line, it is Crystal Palace for breakfast.
I had no idea until you brought it up in that recent episode. And we had just discovered the churro waffle because we went on our very first Disney cruise. It's so good. So good. Well, my first hidden gem, and I do think this one is really hidden. I've talked to so many people that it shocks me they don't know that these exist. Now, everyone knows about the zebra domes that they have at Boma. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people know about the zebra domes at Boma. Boma is a very popular buffet restaurant at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it's beloved. And one of the things that is most beloved at Boma is this dessert called the zebra dome that you can get on the buffet. And it's basically the traditional zebra dome is like a cookie, and then they put an amarula cream liqueur mousse on top of the cookie, and then they coat the whole thing with white chocolate and a drizzle of dark chocolate. And that's a zebra dome. What the gluten-free version of the zebra dome changes is it takes away that kind of bland cookie, if we're being honest. The cookie is not doing much of the heavy lifting in the zebra dome. It's about everything else. And they replace that cookie with a disc of solid dark chocolate. And oh my gosh, is like when you taste it, you're like, why is there such a thing as a non gluten-free zebra dome? Like, why is this not just the zebra dome? Because it's so good. And whenever I encounter folks at Animal Kingdom Lodge, you can only get this thing, I should say, at Animal Kingdom Lodge. You can get it at the Mara, at the quick service there at Jumbo House, or you can also get it at the gift shop over at Kidani Village. They usually have them in stock there as well. Not always, but usually. But the main place you get them is at the Mara. So if you never had it, gluten-free zebra dome, put it on your must-try list. Craig, I think you got another sweet tooth item for us.
I do. It's sweet, but also there can be little savory elements involved too. So, yeah, my first hidden gem are the weird flavors you can get at Salt and Straw. Now, Salt and Straw is an ice cream shop at Disney Springs on the west side. They do have plenty of the popular favorites on the regular menu, like chocolate gooey brownie and cinnamon snickerdoodle, and those sound incredible on their own. They also have some weird flavors on the regular menu, like strawberry honey balsamic with black pepper, which I've had and loved. They have an olive oil flavored one, but it's really the seasonal flavors that you have to experience. Like right now, they have like a whole Thanksgiving feast, from a Parker House roll flavor to a turkey stuffing and cranberry sauce flavor ice cream. And the best part about Salt and Straw is you can taste everything. They're more than happy to let you taste anything before you buy. So I highly suggest trying as much as you can. Another fun fact about Salt and Straw: an old friend of mine I used to work with in Chicago started her own jam company called Laura Ann's Jams, and Salt and Straw actually used one of her jams as a flavoring in one of their
Very cool.
seasonal
That's
favorites that they've done in
amazing.
the past. So it was very cool.
I think it's the best ice cream in the world. I'm not joking. I love Salt and Straw. I especially love the weird flavors. And some of them are pretty darn weird. The stuffing one that you mentioned, it has sausage in it. It is a sausage. There's like sausage in the stuffing, and it has that flavor. And I know that sounds strange. It's delicious. It's so good. And they
You
had
should,
one for Halloween.
you should
Yeah.
talk about the one for Halloween, the one with the
Yeah,
critters.
you should tell them about the one for Halloween.
So that one actually had like different critters on it. Like it had like mealworms. It had like crickets.
I didn't care for that one personally, but you thought it was pretty good, right?
Honestly, it's good for you to try it and just to try it for fun. But like yeah, it's I will not have like a full scoop of it, you know?
That was a definite hedge there. Do we have any hidden gems that have popped up in the chat from Patreon?
Yeah, so far we have gotten three. The first one is from Jessica P. She mentioned that the bread service at Jico Her kids still talk about it, and the giraffe bread, it's so good.
Ooh, giraffe bread.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I liked Jiko, don't shoot me, more than Sanaa. I liked I liked
What?
Jiko more than Sanaa. I thought it was amazing, so just a hot take.
What's next on the list?
It's from this list Rob. So this list Rob mentioned that the churros at Nomad Lunch, that most importantly, they are also gluten free.
We may or may not be talking about those churros a little bit later in the list, but yes, that's a very good pick. Jessica, I think so. We've had a lot of talk about sweet things. I think you've got something in a list that's more of a good for you item, actually.
Yeah, so, ABC Commissary in Hollywood Studios is for us, has some of the best food that we like when we're just gonna go sit down and eat in ABC Commissary for quick service. And they actually have a chicken arugula farro salad, which is arugula and farro with Granny Smith apples, dried cranberries. You're seeing a cranberry theme here. Parmesan cheese and pecans with this Dijon vinaigrette kind of dressing. It is a really healthy, good salad, particularly if it's hot outside. It is a hidden gem, but the other part of this hidden gem is they have a kids version of it. You can get a kids menu item and you get, trust me, enough food for an adult. Those and you get a bottle of water or a drink and you can get a bag of apples or carrots or something with it too, or sometimes the cuties, the little oranges. Um, it's I always order the kids version of the salad. I always have more than enough food. You get the water with it. I think you save like $6 to order the kids version. It's actually on the kids check menu, which means it's a healthy alternative for kids is what Disney calls it, but I take it as it's also a healthy alternative for Jessica. So, when you're eating a
Hmm.
lot of zebra domes and churro waffles and
Hmm.
what else do we have? It's ice cream. It's good to have a nice salad, and this is one of my favorite salads.
I second that one. Eric, I know you love that one. Craig, have you had that salad?
I have not, but it's on my list
Ooh,
now.
yeah, so good. Well, this next one I know is a love that we share. Craig, I know I've heard you talk about this one a lot as well. At Trattoria Al Forno, which I'm just going to start by saying I think that Trattoria Al Forno itself is kind of a hidden gem at Disney World. I don't know why. I can always easily get a reservation at Trattoria Al Forno whenever I want it, day or night. And it's at the boardwalk. So if you're at Epcot, you can walk right out of the International Gateway and it's right there. So it's pretty easy to get to, even if you're not staying at the boardwalk. And for some reason, this place is not always packed because they have some of my favorite things. And one of them is the Al Forno eggs. Now, when I describe this to you, it might not sound immediately like the most delicious breakfast item you've ever had, but trust me, it tastes so much better than it initially sounds. So there's a base of polenta, kind of like grits, if you're from the South. And then there's a layer of Italian sausage. And then they put in some eggs and some tomato sauce. It's like a fresh made tomato sauce and then they serve it with a crusty bread that you can kind of dip into the whole thing. And the eggs, they don't let the eggs overcook, so they still have kind of a runny yolk. And you just kind of take the bread and just mix it all together. And when I first saw it on the menu, I was like, I don't know how I feel about tomato sauce and eggs. It just didn't, to me, it just didn't sound like something I thought I would love. And the server was like, no, trust me. Trust me. Everyone loves this. And so I ordered it and I'm so glad I did because it is one of the most delicious things I've ever had at Walt Disney World. Craig, what is your next item? I think you've also got a savory item up next to talk about.
I do, and this is the chef's signature dinner for two at Toledo, which is at Coronado Springs Resort. Now, it's a prefix part of the menu. Now, the menu has total a la carte, a lot of tapas, appetizer kind of things as well. But this dinner, it includes a flight of four pinchos, which is different kinds of appetizers. It includes a huge charcuterie board for two people with meats and cheeses. It comes with your choice of dessert. and your choice of 2 entrees to share. One is this bone-in ribeye, this enormous bone-in ribeye, and you get 2 sides with that, and the other is a seafood paella. Now, the cost is $160 for 2, but the amount of food you get and the quality, it's really a bargain.
Toledo is another, I think, hidden gem altogether. I always find it's pretty easy to get a reservation there, and it's so good, especially for the price. I mean, it's really much like everything at the tower at Coronado Springs. It feels deluxe, and I can't believe it's a moderate, right? It's
Mhm.
just you're getting deluxe stuff for a moderate price, which is great.
Yeah, and just the views from the tower itself, from the top of the tower, which is where Toledo is. It's on the top level. Um, just stunning. You can see, I think, can you see all 4 parks? I know you can see at least 3.
I know you
I don't
can
know if
see
you can see
3. I'm
Magic
not sure if I
Kingdom,
don't know if you can see Magic Kingdom from there, but I think you can see the other 3. Yeah.
but you can see them very clearly too. It's really really
It's
gorgeous.
beautiful. It's our favorite date night. It's our favorite date night. Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, Jessica, I think you have another table service favorite that a lot of people maybe don't know about. What's your next pick?
So I'm going to move us over to Disney Springs. And I think there's a restaurant in Disney Springs that, in my opinion, doesn't get a lot of love. And that, much like you've been saying about some of these other ones, Frontera Conchina, and I'm saying that wrong, and I'm sure Eric would correct me, but it's Frontera, I think I get right, but Conchina I might not have right, but you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Cancina?
Cantina.
Cocina.
Casina.
It's
Cocina.
cocina,
Cocina.
isn't it?
Okay, cocina.
It's the
Yeah,
kitchen, right?
Casina.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Cocina.
it we can always get a reservation. We've been when it's super crowded and you can walk up to the bar. So, but the hidden gem on that menu is an entree that is called the creamy chicken enchilada suiza, which is like the best chicken enchiladas smothered in this tomatillo cream sauce with like poblano peppers, and it has sliced red onions and cilantro on top. It's like everything you like about a street taco and everything you like about a, salsa verde with a cream sauce all wrapped up
Mhm.
together. It is, and it comes in like this casserole dish that's right out of the oven, nice and hot. Oh, it is it is my favorite like meal at Disney Springs. It's amazing.
I'm excited to go back and try those. Those sound delicious.
They are
So
amazing.
we went to
Amazing.
Frontera when we first moved here, and it was good. We enjoyed it, but it wasn't like there wasn't anything that we were like, "Oh gosh, I can't wait to go back and have that again." But now I can't wait to go back and try the enchiladas.
I feel like we had been to Frontera 2 years ago, and then the first time we went back and they had this on the menu, it's a consistent. We go back at least once every other trip, that we're there, and it's when I'm having a bad day at Disney World, which, just means I'm tired, that's where John takes me. That's my happy place to get those enchiladas.
Yeah. If you're not familiar, Frontera is actually one of Rick Bayless's
Mhm.
restaurants. So Rick Bayless is
Mhm.
kind of a celebrity chef. I've been to his restaurant in Chicago. I think it was called Topolobampo. Is that right? The one.
Topolobampo, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, he's got a Frontera Grill is originated there as well, and they're like
Okay.
actually next to each other. But Topolobampo is the more deluxe,
Yeah,
and yeah, Rick
I've eaten
Bayless,
there.
love that guy.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of Rick Bayless, if you're a fan of Topolobampo, or if you're just a fan of good enchiladas, sounds like
Mhm.
you need to put Frontera on your list. My next on the list item is this is one of those things that anytime I am at the Contemporary in the morning, I will just go and get an order of these at like to go because you can get it to go from the bar as well. But the bacon cheddar grits are the best grits in Orlando, maybe the best grits in the South. They're so good.
Mm.
They're
Mm.
so stinking good. For me, I have a pretty darn good grits recipe that whenever I make the grits, my family calls them the heart attack grits because if you see me make them, there's a really large amount of heavy cream in my grits. Okay, so they're delicious though. These grits are better than mine. They're better. They're
Mm.
so good. and I think they probably have less heavy cream too. If you're at Steakhouse 71 is where you get them. Steakhouse 71 at the Contemporary, and they also have a version of these grits on the dinner menu as an appetizer. I don't find them to be, for some reason, as good on the dinner menu. And I know that's crazy because it should be the same grits, I would think, but I don't know. There's something magical about them in the breakfast iteration. And they're like $6, I think, something like that to get them to go. So bacon cheddar grits at Steakhouse 71. If you're a fan of grits, these are going to be your new favorites. Craig, I think you're going to get us back onto the sweets, right? Well, you got a sweet thing on your list next?
This is really sweet too, and it's the butter bars. Now, you can find these in a lot of places around Disney World, but as long as you're in Epcot, just go to the Caramel Kucha in Germany, the Werther's caramel shop in the Germany pavilion, and you'll always find them there. It's this crumbly, buttery shortbread base cookie with a layer of soft caramel, and it is just so decadent. You can find them in a lot of the gift shops and food courts throughout the resorts and theme parks at anything that sells baked treats. Like if you see a case that has cookies or cupcakes in it, you'll probably find the butter bars as well. But and again, I mean, it is basically pure sugar, but with that butter and everything, even just one bite, and I'm satisfied. Like I'll like buy one at the beginning of the vacation, and it's so sweet. It'll take me the whole week or 5 days, however long I'm there, to eat it because it's just that sweet but delicious.
Yeah, I wish I had the willpower to not eat that whole thing when I get it, but I usually share it though. I will share it with somebody because it is
Yeah.
really rich. But those things, and I think what happens is they're usually in a case with things that are cute and Mickey shaped. And if you're on
Right.
vacation,
Mhm.
you gravitate towards the cutest things in the case. These are not particularly cute,
Mhm.
but they are the
Yeah,
most
they're not.
delicious thing in the
It's not
case.
an Instagrammable type of dessert unless you've had them, in which case you'll be like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
show me them butter bars."
Jessica, what is your next item on the list for hidden gems?
So mine is from a place that's not a hidden gem, Bronto Roasters. We're back at Hollywood Studios. I'm spending a lot of time at Hollywood Studios. This list, but for breakfast they have the Triple Suns breakfast wrap, which is plant based. Now, I am not a plant based eater, but I can't eat mammal. I think we've talked about that before. And this breakfast wrap is amazing. It has chickpeas. It has this really good fire sauce. And it has plant-based eggs, but it is an amazing, like, plant-based breakfast. And in fact, people that have gone and had both the plant-based one and the regular breakfast wrap have chosen the chickpeas.
Wow.
It is just a better, to me, it's a hidden gem. You don't have to be a plant-based eater to like it. If you like for breakfast a savory, spicy, if you're that person that has a bottle of sriracha or a bottle of hot sauce out when you do eggs, this is for you. It is not Disney spicy. It is a nice heat on a breakfast wrap, and that to me, I'm a heat on my breakfast food kind of person, and it is amazing. So, highly recommend that Triple Suns plant-based breakfast wrap. I feel like the other breakfast wraps a little average. This one, amazing hidden gem.
Oh, so I love the regular
Oh, do
breakfast.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I might like it better than the regular Ronto wrap.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm really excited now to try
Yeah, you should try the chickpea one. Try
the
the
Triple
Triple
Suns.
Suns. Yeah.
Yeah. Eric, do we have any more from the chat? Any more suggestions?
From Pam Stockley, I am a big fan of the bag pickle. I know it's a kind of odd, but you can get them at Prince Eric's. Always a
Mhm.
good pick me up when it's hot and you're tired.
Yeah, I mean, they say that about the salt in a pickle, that it's really the salt in a pickle and that juice, it's really good for when you're tired or dehydrated. Same thing, like, I happen to be drinking, like, a vitamin water right now. They say a pickle and that pickle juice is, like, the natural equivalent to, like, a vitamin water because it
Hmm.
has all of your kind of things. So if you're a runner or if you're out and you're dehydrated, that's why eating a pickle is good for you, apparently.
Did you know that you get an equivalent number of electrolytes. It's almost equally hydrating and good for your body when you're dehydrated to drink milk as it is to drink an energy drink. And the milk is obviously better for you because it's got other nutrients, and energy drink is just sugar. But I'm not going to drink milk. Like, I'm just not
Mm-mm.
going to get a thing of milk in the park when I'm dehydrated. It's probably not what I'm going to grab, but you can get a decaf latte from Joffrey's. And I checked this. As long as it's decaf, it doesn't have the diuretic effect. So you're getting the milk. And that's my energy drink now. Not energy drink. That's not the right word. The what's the sports drink? That's my sports drink is a decaf latte from Joffrey's.
I am
That's
so gonna use that the next time I'm there.
yeah,
This is the best hidden gem I've had all episode. This is
yeah.
my favorite thing ever.
So next time you're feeling dehydrated, decaf latte from Joffrey's will do the trick. It's got all the electrolytes you need. So speaking of that, let's actually move on to drinks because we've covered our hidden gems for food. But I actually did a little bit of research this weekend, which I mentioned earlier, on one of the drinks that I wanted to include in the hidden gems because I went to the menu to see the details on this hidden gem and it wasn't there. So Trattoria Al Forno, we're going back to the place I talked about before with the Al Forno eggs. They have the best iced coffee on property, bar none. Nothing else is. It's just, if you're a coffee lover, if you love the flavor of coffee and not just like flavorings added to coffee, this is the best. And I looked at the menu and it wasn't there. It wasn't on the menu online anymore. And I kind of freaked out a little bit because I've talked about this in multiple videos. Like, you got to go to Trattoria Al Forno. So we went there this weekend just to see, could we still get it? And we talked to our server, and he said that Disney did take it off the menu because they're trying to sort of streamline their coffee offerings across the different table service restaurants. And there was so much outcry. There were so many people that complained, like from day one. The first day it wasn't on the menu, it was just people were mad. And the head chef said, you know what? We're just going to get what we need to continue making it. And if anyone asks for it, we will still make it. So I found out from our server what makes this coffee so amazing. And it was a little bit different than what a server had told us in an earlier video that we shared. So this is, I've been told now, this is the official recipe. So they take their Trattoria Al Forno blend coffee that they brew traditionally. They mix that with a special coffee that they only serve by French press. It's kind of a very fancy coffee that they do by French press. And then they mix that with an Italian espresso that they do a fresh shot of espresso. So it's three different kinds of coffee. And then they add some cream and some sweetener and some whipped cream. But it's those three different kinds of coffee that just it's just the best, richest coffee flavor ever. It's so good. And if you haven't had it and you're a coffee junkie, this is going to be your new favorite coffee at Walt Disney World. And thankfully, you can still get it. I think it's even better as a hidden gem now because it's not even on the menu. You have to know that you can ask for it. And next time you go to Trattoria Al Forno, ask for it. It's only there for breakfast, though. I don't think they'll do it for dinner. It's never been on the dinner menu. So I think it's just you have to go for breakfast. Jessica, what is your hidden gem beverage selection?
So my hidden gem is we're back at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and on the floor up from Boma is the Victoria Falls Lounge. And this lounge has two menu items, and I'm lumping them together because they have some of the best South African wine on property. And they actually have, unlike some of the other locations in Animal Kingdom, two flights, a red flight and a white flight. And you can get a flight of three South African wines that you probably can't find easily at your local, your local liquor store. These are kind of higher end South African wines. We are big fans of the Chenin Blanc and the Pinotage, some of our favorite wines. John and I have a wine bar that we go to, And these wines are on par with some of the best wines we've ever gotten. So the Victoria Falls Lounge, going there and sitting and getting that South African wine flight. And then if you find the one you like, you can get a glass of it. But to me, the real hidden gem part is this is an opportunity for a really good price. It is like $21 for the white and $20 for the red, to get 3 glasses or 3 flight size glasses of wine. That is an amazing price to sample some of the best wines I've had on property.
Very nice. Craig, I think you have a suggestion for another watering hole that's one of your favorites.
I do. And my next pick is pretty much any drink you can get in the Territory Lounge at the Wilderness Lodge. Now, the actual hidden gem there is my friend Mike, the bartender. So if you're there and you see Mike, and he's a legacy, he's got one of those blue name tags. He's been working for Disney for a very long time, and he is just one of my favorite people, one of my favorite bartenders on property. My other hidden gem there used to be, it was called the smoked turkey, and it was basically a Manhattan kind of drink made with wild turkey and smoked, like liquid smoke. So it just had a little bit of smoky flavor to it. This is before they started actually smoking drinks, where they just added smoke to, put it in a dome or something. But yeah, the Northwoods there, I've had that recently. That was delicious. I know, Rob, you have a few favorites there too, don't you?
My favorite is it is a smoke drink. They do smoke it the way that you're talking, not with the liquid smoke, but they have the smoke machine that
Mm-hmm.
and it's called the Timeless Elias, and it's made with, I think it's Macallan Scotch whiskey. It's a really good Scotch to start with,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's the cocktail is very Scotch forward, but the addition of the smoke to the Scotch, it's delicious. It's one of my favorite cocktails I've ever had. And I agree with you. I had it once when Mike was
Mhm.
not the bartender, and it just wasn't even close. It was Mike is magic. So I agree with you. Anything that Mike makes is probably going to be a darn good drink.
Yeah, John and I went to the Wilderness Lodge and actually were sitting and talking to Mike and having this great conversation. And he gave us like a little something with his name on it and said, "Oh, come back next time you see us." And then we happened to be meeting up with Craig that afternoon. And we're like, "Yeah, we were at Wilderness Lodge. We got this." And he's like, "Wait, Mike? That's my Mike. I know Mike." And I was like, I was like, "Wait." But we agree. That was one of our greatest kind of couple hours we spent just sitting at a bar. Mike was amazing. So if you go there, ask for Mike, sit down and say, Craig.
Nice. So I think you have another drink to suggest for us, and I think we're going back to a place we've been earlier, correct?
We are going back because when you have those enchiladas, the other thing you need to do when you're at Frontera is their bar staff is the same staff, or not their staff, but the people that created the drink menu is the same as they did for La Cava de Tequila. It's the same people that created the margarita menus. The one that I say is a hidden gem, because this is the kind of, we've already talked, I'm a spicy person. It's called Play with Fire. It is a kind of a cucumber jalapeno margarita. And
Mm.
I love a spicy margarita. I love a jalapeno margarita. This one doesn't have that any kind of fake mix in it. It's just lime juice. And then it's got cucumber and jalapeno juice. And then you can either do it with mezcal or tequila, depending on your the way you roll. But it is my favorite margarita on property. Um, they have all the classic margaritas that you can get at La Cava. They have a lot of really just normal kind of margaritas, and they're all amazing. But if you like a spicy margarita, this is the best one, in my opinion. And it's a hidden gem because I don't see a lot of people ordering it.
Nice. Well, I have one last cocktail to talk about. This will be our final official hidden gem. It's at the Tune In Lounge, which is attached to 50s Prime Time at Hollywood Studios. I'm going to say, I think it's interesting that most of our selections today have come from Animal Kingdom Lodge, Hollywood Studios, and Trattoria Al Forno, which I just think that's kind of, I feel like those are the clusters of things that we've had. Oh, and Springs,
Disney Springs, yeah.
Disney Springs, yeah.
Right.
We haven't had
Um,
anything from Epcot, have we?
I know. Well, I guess it's because nothing is really hidden. Well, I guess the Butter Bar
Mm,
is kind of an
Oh, that's
Epcot
true.
thing.
true.
but I think people know to find good food in Epcot, whereas these are some things maybe you wouldn't have thought about. But back to the topic at hand. The Tune In Lounge created a cocktail called the PB&J cocktail. And I've had some things at the different festivals, some different cocktails that are made with the screwball peanut butter whiskey. And I just never thought they were very good. I was always just kind of like, this is not a good cocktail. And I tried just offhandedly once when I was at the Tune In Lounge, their PB&J cocktail, and I was like, this is so good. This is so much better than any of the other screwball cocktails I've had on property. And the bartender said, well, yeah, it's because we created it here and we make it fresh. We make it, to order. Whereas the ones you get in the, in the festivals is kind of a pre-mixed thing. And,
Mhm.
this is how you got to do it. And oh my gosh, are they right? This is, if you're a fan of kind of more like fun. I don't want to say like it's not really fruity, it's not the right word, but like a sweet kind of desserty cocktail. I think that's the best way to put it. If you're a fan of desserty cocktails, this is my favorite desserty cocktail on property. And the bartenders there are really fun. Tune In Lounge is just a great place to go and hang out anyway, because they're just such a fun crew in there. So, inevitably, there were some things that we loved and we wanted to include, but maybe we decided they were too well known or we just had to cut them because we had so many. So, we're going to do a really quick lightning round of honorable mentions. We're not going to go deep dives on these. We're just going to list them off really quickly because these are also really amazing and we want to make sure you know about them if you didn't already know about them. And Eric, I'm going to let you start because this was the one thing when we started talking about hidden gems. You're like, this is the one. This is the one. And we were all like, we think maybe a lot of people already know about it. I don't know if it's a hidden gem or not, but I agree with you. If you don't know about this thing, it's the best. Tell us what it is.
It's definitely the churros from Animal Kingdom. The churros at Nomad Launch, they are just one of my favorite things. And I think I'm sad to say this, but like they are better than the ones that I have tried in Mexico. So yeah, they are really good. So you definitely have to stop by and just give it a try.
Craig, what is your first honorable mention?
Okay, this should become as no surprise to anyone, especially Diz List Rob, and it is the cachapas from Skipper Canteen in the Magic Kingdom. It's an appetizer, these little corn cakes topped with braised pork and a corn salsa with an avocado crema. Just delicious. Jessica.
So mine is from Geyser Springs at Wilderness Lodge. It is the plant-based mac and cheese bites. Once again, it's a great alternative if you are a plant-based eater. And if you aren't a plant-based eater, these are just like the best little cheesy goodness things you can put in your mouth. And they're fried. So I love them.
Nice. So my honorable mention is only available certain times of the year. But if you go to Disney Springs when it's cold outside, if you go to the Ganachery, which is a very fancy chocolatier shop, it is a Disney shop, but they have hot ganache. And if you've ever seen the movie Chocolat and you see them drinking that drinking chocolate and you're always thought, oh, I want to try that so bad, this is that basically. It's rich, thick chocolate, hot chocolate. It's amazing. Eric, what is the one item that you always have to get when you pass a Joffrey's cart and you see it there?
So one of those items is called a cronut, which basically is a croissant uh, covered with the glaze from a donut, and it's just the best of Joffrey's, like the best pastry that you can find in Joffrey's.
Yeah, it's a deep fried croissant. I mean, it's not just a
Yeah.
croissant. Like imagine the richness of a croissant and then you deep fry it. Yeah, it's so good. Craig,
Hmm.
what is your next sweet treat?
Yeah, so my next honorable mention comes from Topolino's Terrace. It is a dessert, and it is the Fruits of the Forest. It's also plant based. It has several different berry based desserts, like a mousse and a sorbet. It's light, it's very fruity, and it's beautiful on the plate. The way they plate it is just gorgeous. It's not too sweet. It's just very refreshing. Love it.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm up and I tried to say that I could be able to say everything at this restaurant, and Rob vetoed me. But Bar Riva is the pool bar at the Riviera. And they really is everything there is a hidden gem, but particularly arancini. So they have a seasonal arancini. It changes with the seasons. Everyone we've had is good. And if you are on a Skyliner resort, or if you are at Epcot and you can Skyliner, or Hollywood Studios and you can Skyliner over to the Riviera, you want a good break from the day, Bar Riva, and try the arancini, whichever seasonal one is there. It is an amazing kind of nice snack for the middle of the day.
Craig, I think you had a suggestion from the Victoria Falls Lounge that Jessica was talking about earlier.
Yes, we're going back to Animal Kingdom Lodge Jumbo House. Something you can get with Jessica's wine flight. It's the spiced goat cheese dip. It's this warm, gooey goat cheese dip. But the best part of it is this puffy bread. It's kind of like a Brazilian cheese bread, if you've ever had that. Big portion. Again, something to stick to your ribs while you're having some delicious South African wines.
All right, Jessica, give us our final dessert item.
So our final honorable mention, and for me, this is usually breakfast, actually. And it is at Tama Tama, which is on the way to the safari in Animal Kingdom. So it's the cute little coffee stand, and they have a honey pistachio croissant. And I will get that with a cup of coffee almost every time and eat it in the line heading to the safari. So it is exactly what you think it is. It is a croissant covered with honey, topped with pistachios. But it is nice and flaky and fresh, and it's kind of light because it doesn't have it. The honey is the only extra sugar on it. So to me, that's a great Animal Kingdom breakfast on your way to the safari, and then leaves you room for Nomad Lounge or wherever else you want to eat in Animal Kingdom later.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least, we have some hidden gems from the Ear Scouts forum, which you can find over at earscouts.com. Just click on the forum in the main menu. What do we have from the forum, Craig?
We do. We have, here's a couple from Brianne Colvin. First, she wants to talk about the Thai coconut meatballs you can get at Captain Cook's at the Polynesian. It's their counter service restaurant. She says they're savory and sweet and match perfectly with the Polynesian resort vibe. I could not agree more. I love those meatballs.
Me too.
Yeah, she also mentioned the Tropical Serenade at Aloha Isle in the Magic Kingdom, which is coconut soft serve Dole Whip and pog juice. It's a float, and it comes also with a pineapple upside down cake pot. She says perfect tropical pairing, but it might not be hidden. To kind of agree. But again, that's another one of my favorites. Coconut soft serve Dole Whip, love that stuff. And another one, this one comes from Kieran. It's at the Space 220 Lounge, and it's the plant-based modified Phantom Galaxy Beet Salad. Now, specifically the plant-based version, because he says the vegan cheese is literally out of this world. And I've noticed we've had a lot of, modified, like the plant-based versions of things and the gluten-free versions that we seem to like better than the normal ones. So I found that very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot more suggestions that we'll definitely be including in future episodes when we talk about our hidden gems. But yeah, keep those suggestions going. Love it over there on the forum.
Absolutely. And if you want to read more of those hidden gems, just head over to earscouts.com, click on the forum, and you can find them all there. Sadly, that is all the time we have for hidden gems this week, but we will be back with more hidden gems in future episodes. Right now, however, it's time to answer your questions from YouTube and Patreon. Jessica, I think you have a question about something we talked about in a recent episode.
I do. It's about the new My Plans section of the My Disney Experience app. MCL-CX9NE, I can't even make that into a word, asks, do you know if the My Plans feature works for the different parties like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and Jollywood Nights? The short answer is no, it doesn't. The long answer is the My Plans feature is really for the day before the party. So if you had dinner reservations or something that was before the party started and you had a date-based ticket, you could probably see it in the My Plans. But during the parties, none of the My Plans features, none of the entertainment, none of that is going to show up. So I say that like if you were on the website and you wanted to see, my example is the piano player in the Rose and Crown during the day. There's actually an option if you click on that, it says add to my plans, and you can add that with a specific time. And then during the day in your my plans, you can see at 2:30, I was going to go see the music player at the UK pavilion. That does not, the my plan, add to my plans button does not show up for anything related to the parties, at least at this time. So currently my plans is new. Maybe they'll add it, but at this time, very Merry Christmas and Jollywood Nights, you cannot add any of those entertainments to your my plans. So unfortunately, it's a great addition adding to my plans. I can see all that stuff, but it does not work for the parties.
Yep. You don't even see your party ticket. Like, you don't even
Mm-mm.
see that you have a party that day, which is crazy
Nope.
to me. But
No, you don't.
yeah,
You can get
yeah.
around that by adding a note and putting your, and it'll show up in your my plans, but that's it. Like, you can't see your party ticket. I never understood that. But so short
Uh,
answer is no. Long answer is if you had something related to the beginning of the day, maybe.
yeah. Craig, what's our next question of the week?
Yeah, here's one from YouTube. Catwalker02M asks, can I book a single pass lightning lane for Guardians of the Galaxy in the afternoon or evening if I plan to start my day in Animal Kingdom using a park hopper ticket? And the answer to that is yes. You can book lightning lane single pass for any park as long as you have a ticket that allows for park hopping, such as a park hopper or an annual pass. Now, this is Disney, so there's got to be a few exceptions and a few rules you need to know about. So you can only book 2 Lightning Lane single pass attractions in a day, which I think has been the case from the beginning. But the important thing to remember is if you have an annual pass or a ticket that requires a park reservation, you have to have a reservation in place to be able to even book the Lightning Lane single passes. It's like there's never a simple answer to any of these, is
Well, it
there?
would let you book after 2
Right after
if it
2
was a
o'clock.
day that you could get into that. So, like Magic Kingdom, you can't even get in after 2 on the weekend, but
Mhm.
everything else you can get in after 2. So I think it would let you book after 2,
Right.
but not before 2 if you didn't have a park pass.
Mhm.
And how many of us have tried to get lightning lanes, and that's when you found out you didn't have a park pass reservation?
Mhm.
It
Is it
has
just me?
happened to me. It has happened to me.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
haven't had it for very long and it happened, so.
Mhm.
Well, I've got a fun one that we can all jump in on. Junaid Ansari 3467, who always sends in such great questions. Thank you, Junaid Ansari, for always contributing a good question to our Q&A. This week, Junaid Ansari asks, what are your favorite Disney World resorts and why? And I will start this one off, but I'm going to throw it around to everyone else. For me, it always comes down to 2.5. My my 2 that I go back and forth on is Boardwalk and Wilderness Lodge. I love those resorts. Wilderness Lodge is just all about the vibe. I love the vibe at Wilderness Lodge. It's so relaxing. It's like you're at an amazing uh, national park, retreat or something. It's just got such a great vibe. And then Boardwalk, I also love the vibe, and I love the location that you can just walk right into Epcot. Now the half, I say 2.5. I also really love Yacht and Beach Club because of the pool. You can only go to Stormalong Bay, which is definitely the best pool at any Disney resort hotel on property. You can only go there if you're staying at Yacht or Beach Club. So even though I technically like Boardwalk better, I will sometimes choose to stay at Yacht and Beach because I can walk over and enjoy the boardwalk. It's right there. It's right next to Yacht and Beach Club, but I still get access to Stormalong Bay, which is amazing. But if you put my feet to the fire and said which of these resorts is your favorite, it would definitely be Boardwalk over Yacht and Beach, mainly because of those really cool and creepy chairs that are by the fire. Speaking of the fire, if you've ever been there, they have the nanny chairs.
Ooh, they're scary.
They're terrifying and amazing all at the same time. I feel like Boardwalk is a Disney resort that was co-designed, like the interior design was done by David Lynch. I mean, it's just got like a very surreal kind of almost creepy, like it's borderline creepy vibe in lots of
It's like
ways, and I
it's like a
love it.
New England Shining.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is. And there are, like, hidden nooks and crannies in that place, and, like, you turn a corner and you're like, "Oh, this is where the Shining girls are coming."
exactly, and I love that. Uh, all right, so who wants to go next? Who's going to share their favorite resorts?
This shouldn't be a surprise to a lot of our listeners, but it's the Polynesian for me. I
Mhm.
just love that laid back vibe. I love the views of Magic Kingdom from across the lagoon, especially now with the Island Tower. That is my favorite part of that resort now. Wailulu Grill, one of my favorite restaurants that is now taking reservations coming up soon, which I'm also very excited about. Um, and since Rob picked more than one, I am going to say I love Boardwalk too, but I'm going to put Beach Club over Boardwalk for my favorite just because of the pool. And it's a little closer to Epcot. It's a little longer to walk to the studios, but I like the quiet of the Beach Club as
Yeah,
a little more than I like the hustle and bustle of the boardwalk. But again, everything's right there, so you can enjoy both easily.
So, I am going to say, my absolute favorite, and I think I've said this before, is if money was never an option, I would stay at the Contemporary every day, all the time. It is my favorite. It has my favorite bars. It's closest to Magic Kingdom. I like that the monorail goes through it. I like the kind of mid-century modern kind of vibe of it, the clean lines. I'm not the wood of the Wilderness Lodge kind of gal most of the time, and I'm not the Polynesian kind of vibe most of the time. So Contemporary really has my heart. But because I'm not a DVC member, so I have to rent DVC points, the one that I have stayed at the most that I actually will stay at the most is Coronado. Coronado Springs to me is the best of both worlds. It has great restaurants, great bars. It's a little bit farther out, but the art is amazing. Some of the stories in there that, the lounge that has, what is it? The Salvador Dali,
hmm
art and the movies playing in the background. Um, it's just amazing. To me, that's one of the most beautiful resorts, and I think you can see my aesthetic is if I'm gonna go with kind of a more dramatic themed hotel, I'm going that is a more of a modern take on a themed hotel than, let's
hmm
say, the Wilderness Lodge or
hmm
the Polynesian is. Um, and that one really suits me. It's a little bit contemporary, but it's also got the theme. So those are my 2 favorite. I'll give a kinda half shout out because Rob got to the French Quarter. The rooms at the French Quarter, we stayed at some of the updated rooms at the French Quarter, and, they were really nice. For that price point, those rooms were just amazing. The bathroom was really nice, and I know particularly if you're traveling with, more than one of you to have I really enjoyed the French Quarter. I thought it was great. I like having the beignets. I liked being close to Disney Springs, so that's my half. I don't like it because it's so far from the parks, but if you were doing more of a Disney Springs kind of experience, that's it, but Coronado is where I will stay probably most of the time, and then if money was no option, I would stay at the Contemporary.
My favorite of all is Wilderness Lodge, and it's just like the vibe of the place, and the fact that it's super quiet is it just makes it super special to me. The smell, actually, like one of the things that I love from there is just the smell. Uh, it kind of smells like well, like wood and a a Christmas tree, actually. And
yeah.
the other one is Animal Kingdom Lodge, and just the fact that like if you are just enjoying your coffee with you can look at the animals, you can look at the giraffes, you can look at the zebras, and I think that makes it super unique and cool.
I completely agree, and I'm surprised none of us mentioned Animal Kingdom Lodge because that is. I mean, I guess if I could have done 4 instead of 3, I probably would have put Animal Kingdom Lodge on the list. That's a really good one too. And I will say, if you do Animal Kingdom Lodge, do not get a resort view. Spend the extra dollars, get the Savannah view, unless you just know you're not going to stay at your resort really. And in which case, if you're not going to stay at your resort at all, why are you staying at the Lux Resort anyway?
Mhm.
But if you're planning on staying and spending some time at your resort, the Savannah View room worth every single penny. I don't stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge anymore unless I'm in a Savannah View room, just because that's why I'm staying there. I want to see the animals, you know? All right. Jessica, what's our next question from YouTube?
User GS4NV4NM8W. Are you giving these to me on purpose? I just want to know that answer. Asks, if we wanted to try and ride Tron, is there a certain time during the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party that would be good to do that?
I just want to point out that this person who's asking about Tron, their username is user GS4NV4NM8W. Like in Tron, they call you users, right? Like that's how they.
Oh,
I
didn't
just
even
thought
get
that
that.
was. I thought that was really fun that they're actually
Okay,
their
that's cool.
username is even Tron related.
Their username is Tron and they want to ride Tron.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you kind of a couple of answers. I would say if you want the shortest line, fireworks. During the fireworks, everybody else is watching the fireworks. Fireworks or parades are the best time to do it with the shortest line. I would say fireworks is also the coolest time. If you can ride Tron while the fireworks are going off, I assume that would be amazing. But in general, during the parties, the Tron lines, I've been looking at them after after the fireworks have seemed to be really low. So anytime after the fireworks, I think is a good time. My personal opinion is Tron is the best ridden at night anyway. So you're going to get it at the best time. I would wait for it to be as dark as you can have it be and then get on Tron. But either right when the fireworks start or after the fireworks is my personal opinion. If you're asking because when you want the shortest line. But that's what I've seen when I've been looking at the apps. And that's what we saw when we were at the Halloween party for sure.
Nice. Craig, I think you got one from over on Patreon.
I do. Jennifer B asks, how do you prioritize between doing something that you loved again and again and trying something new? I'm really struggling with this. For example, I want to do a character breakfast, but I love Topolino's and I'm struggling to book something else. Now, I think this is a tough one for a lot of us. You do find something you love and it's hard not to go back there every time. Like, for instance, I have like 2 trips coming up in December and I booked Topolino's Terrace for both of them. And 2 visits to Geo82 Lounge, just because that's where I want to be with the people I'm going with. But I also encourage trying new things because you never know what you're going to respond to. Remember, every one of your favorites you keep coming back to was new to you at some point and you hadn't tried it before. So, go out there, try something new, but don't feel bad about going back to the tried and true over and over again. Anyone else have any thoughts on this one?
One of the things that John and I try to do is we kind of have a bucket list of things we haven't done at Disney World, and we try to make sure every trip we do one.
Ooh, I like
We
that.
just do one of them. It doesn't have to be 4 or 5, but it just needs to be one of them. And if you kind of can do that and still put in your favorite things, I think that's kind of the best, particularly if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably one of those people that's gotten bit by the bug. So you're going to be back again. So, you're going to have that opportunity to go back, but make a list and do one. Do one every trip that you haven't done before. And that's how I found the chicken salad. That's how I got the breakfast Ronto wrap. That's how I found some of the hidden gems we're going to talk about on some of our other episodes, is by trying something I'd never done before. And I think that's really a good thing. So listen to podcasts, listen to the videos, find that thing you haven't done and make a list and commit to doing one of them. And it's okay to just do that one and then stick with all your other favorites. So that's what we do.
Nice.
Yeah, I find I do that. I try to do that every day. But it can be something simple like a shop I've never been in or, a treat I've never had. But every day I try to do something that I've never done before.
I love that. I do have one final question before we wrap up for the night. Jenny ASMR asks, which side of Animal Kingdom Lodge has the best Savannah view if you want to see the giraffes from your balcony? And I actually had to do some research on this one because I remembered that there were some places that you wouldn't get giraffes. And my gut was that they were at Kidani, was my memory, and that is correct. Kidani, there are 2 different Savannah views at Kidani that you could end up getting. One of those Savannah views is Pembe. Pembe does not have giraffes. So if you end up with a pen-based savanna view, you're never going to see a giraffe. They're not going to be there. So if you want the safest bet, it's going to be to do Jumbo House, not Kidani. However, I have been told by multiple people that the best Savannah view actually is at Kidani, though. It's on the other side, not the Pembe side, but apparently that's where you have the best bet of seeing giraffes. But here's the challenge. If you choose Kidani, you can say you don't want Pembe, but they can't guarantee it. You might get Pembe if you're at Kidani. So it's a roll of the dice. I would say if you want to make sure you have the chance of seeing giraffes, Jumbo House is where you want to be because all of the different savanna views will have the ability to potentially see giraffes. Another thing I will mention, every time we've stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge with a savanna view, they tend to feed the giraffes in the morning, and they probably do it at other times of the day, but I've seen it in the morning, and that's when you really see them because they feed the giraffes really close to the rooms because they want to bring the giraffes over so you have that experience. So I would check also whenever you get in your room, check with some of the team that's working out on the savannas, and ask them when they're going to be feeding the giraffes, and make sure you're in the room during that time because that's going to be your best bet to see them. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for questions this week. But if you have a question you'd like us to answer, let us know in the comments on one of our Ear Scouts videos on YouTube or join us live at patreon.com/Ear Scouts. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you can hear the answer if we're able to include it. Before we go, we have one last segment that we like to call Happy Thoughts. Eric, why don't you start us off this week? What is your happy thought?
As you were able to tell, like we are all very big fans of Joffrey's, and Joffrey's just shared the gift that you're going to be able to get for buying all 5 holiday-themed drinks through the different locations around Walt Disney World. This time it's going to be a luggage tag that has the Mickey Mouse inside the yellow D, like similar to the annual pass holder magnet.
Had they done that before this past they did it for the summer, right?
Hmm. That's the first time I remember them doing it, and I was so excited. It's super fun. I love it.
Craig, what is your happy thought this week?
Okay, so I decided to book a last minute trip to spend Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at Disney World. And it just all
Oh.
kind of fell into place. I can't wait to show my Eric what Disney World is like during the holidays. And anyone who knows me, this is a huge step out of my comfort zone. I do not like crowds. I'm not a big fan of Christmas, to be honest, but with the help of Rob and the rest of the Ear Scouts community, I think I can make it work. Um, and I'm hoping that spending Christmas morning in the most magical place on earth will just help with my overall grinchiness about the holidays. But the plan, and I'm going to put this out there, the plan is to be there for early entry on Christmas Day. Now, we may not last much longer than that, but that's a huge one, and we're going to try to do it.
It's probably going to be dead
Hmm.
because I mean, I find that on the mornings of holidays, especially the mornings where the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus may be bringing some things to folks, the parks are dead in the
Mm.
morning. So that's probably a really great. You're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some YouTube videos, and it gets insane later in the day for sure. But the morning early entry and throughout the morning didn't look too bad. So we'll get multi-pass and do what we can, and not be upset if we don't get everything in that we want to do.
Well, my happy thought this week is that they have started to test out the trains on the new tracks over at Big Thunder Mountain. And I am hoping this means that we're going to be able to hop back on board the wildest ride in the wilderness before the new year. Now, they said officially it's going to open sometime next year. It doesn't necessarily mean that there couldn't be previews this year. So I can't wait to get back on Big Thunder Mountain. I miss that ride so much, and that is that is my happy thought this week.
Hmm.
Uh, Jessica, what is your happy thought this week?
So my happy thought is something that I find super fun. I know they have done this with some of the presidents are now in Spaceship Earth, but for the first time, we have seen some of the mannequins from the Great Movie Ride are now back in Hollywood studios. So if you go down Main Street of it's not Main Street, but you know what I mean. Go down the main thoroughfare of Hollywood Studios and you look for the lovely dancers in their peppermint costumes. Those used to be the swimmers from the Great Movie Ride, from one of the big dance numbers. But I'm excited to see them. I just think it's fun. I love when they repurpose the mannequins. Like one of the Egyptians in Spaceship Earth is actually the president, if you look closely, and they've actually done that kind of stuff before. And I just think it's fun. And I'm also glad that these girls, apparently, if you look close enough, I haven't seen it in person, you can see the swim cap. Like you can actually see the
Oh,
line of the
wow.
swim cap on the
Oh,
side.
cool.
So everybody, it just makes me happy. I just think the fact that Disney's reusing these, that they didn't go to some landfill somewhere, that they're actually still alive and well in the parks and living their best life. I love that. So that is my happy thought for this week.
Well, unfortunately, that is all the time for happy thoughts we have this week, but we will be back next week with a brand new podcast. Until then, don't forget to think happy thoughts, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.